Welcome to my channel, and I'm back with you once again with another video of Microsoft Flight Simulator 24. In the series of videos that I'm doing for this plane, this is going to be another one in which I will tell you how to perform an Autoland. So I will just try to keep things really simple and to the point, as every time I'm making a video, I'm making it for the beginners. So that's why I just try to take you through all the procedures. Right now you can see it on your screens that the top of descent is near. Before I start the descent, there are a few things that we have to do. Go to this option, Performance, in the MCDU. And over here you will see approach. Now we have to enter the information for the approach. But before this, let me just also get the charts for Islamabad International Airport, approaches, and runway 28 right. And let's have a look at the approach plane. You can see that at D6, which is 6 nautical miles before the runway, the plane should be at 3,700 feet in order to intercept the glide slope. So this is the glide slope, 3 degrees of descent, and this is the altitude that I will be setting for the descent. So let's first of all adjust the altitude so that once the plane is near this point, I can start it, and that's it. So now we have to enter the wind information. You will go to this electronic flight bag, and you will see the wind at Islamabad is 310 degrees and 8 knots. So just enter 310. And 8. Now the outside temperature. So it is 15 degrees right now. So let's enter 15. And QNH will be 1018, if I'm not wrong. Exactly, 1018. That's it. Now there are a few more things that we have to enter. Baro and plus the transition altitude. So if you look at the approach plate over here, you will see category 1 DME and localizer DME. This is actually the altitude at which you will make a decision whether you want to proceed with the landing or not. So for runway 28 right, if you are performing a category 1 ILS approach and landing, then the minimum altitude at which you will decide whether you want to land or not is 1950 feet, which is 200 feet above the runway. The runway is at 1,750 feet above the sea level. So that's why I will enter 1950. So if the plane is not aligned with the runway or it's not properly following the glide slope, then at this altitude you can just decide whether you want to proceed with the landing or not. And for this transition altitude, you can enter it over here, but you will see it will not take more than 10,000, or rather 9,000. So for this, what I'll do is this, I'll just keep it at 9,000. If you enter 12,000, it just stops after 1,200. Now the top of descent is there. So I can just bring up the cursor. As soon as I see the up arrow, I will just start the descent. It will be in the manage mode, not in the open mode or the selected mode. Now the runway is a bit far. So there are a few things also which I just want to take you through. Let me just bring this option. So as soon as I will be near the runway, I will also activate this approach. And in this phase, the plane will actually go to this speed, which is the approach speed, 134 knots with full flaps. If I want to go with the 4 flaps, and then it's 154 knots. So let's land with the full flaps, because then the speed is really good. And then what will happen is this, that once I activate this approach, the speed will go up to this point, 200 knots. This is the green dot speed. The plane can still fly without any flaps. But if you want to go below the speed, then you have to extend the flaps. So instead of reducing the speed, you will just keep on extending the flaps, and the speed will keep on reducing. So when you will set the flaps to position 1, the speed will go up to 166 knots. And if you want to go below this, then you have to have flaps 2 for 162 knots. And so on and so forth. So that's what I'm going to do. Now another thing that we have to check is the localizer information. Ident is IBIP, as you can see, it's here, and the frequency is 110.7, and it's correct. And the course is 278, so let's correct the course, 278, because it has to be accurate as I'm going to perform an Autoland, so that's why everything has to be really precise. Otherwise, there can be an issue. So now the plane is near the initial approach fix, and with this I can now activate LS. If you look at this button, if you press it, you will see the localizer information. These two diamonds will appear. This is the glide slope indicator, and this is the lateral alignment with the runway. So whether you are aligned with the runway or not, so this should be in the middle. As soon as the plane is following this flight path, this will be in the middle. And as soon as this diamond will also come over here, the plane will actually start to follow the glide slope. But for this, you have to activate approach. So right now I will just wait. And now it's time to reduce the speed as well. Let's clear this and go to performance, and you can see it over here. Activate approach and just confirm. Now the speed will further reduce. Now you can see that this plane is actually following this flight path. At this point, if I press localizer, now the plane will, instead of following this flight plan, it will now start to follow the localizer, which is actually in line with this flight plan. Now you can see that instead of nav, localizer has started to appear. But in this case, the plane will actually not start to follow the glide slope. For this, I have to activate approach. So even if I activate approach right now, the plane will keep on descending, because right now the altitude is supposed to be 3,700. But as soon as this diamond will come in the middle, after 3,700 feet, then the approach will actually help the plane to follow this glide slope. So localizer actually it takes care of the lateral alignment, and the approach makes sure that the lateral alignment is also there, and plus the plane is following the glide slope. Now it's leveling off just 6 nautical miles before the runway. The plane will actually intercept the glide slope. Now I will extend the flaps. As you can see, the speed is at the green dot speed, it's not reducing, so I can set the flaps to position 1. You can see it over here. The speed is reducing. The distance to the runway is 7.7 nautical miles. And this is the F1 speed. You can see that the plane is almost there. Now you can see this diamond is also moving in the middle. I can further extend the flaps, and with this I can activate approach. You will see that the plane will not start to descend till the time this diamond is in the middle, and then it will just keep it in the middle. Now the plane is following the glide slope. That's it. And localizer is now off, because approach carries out both the operations. It follows the localizer and plus the glide slope. Now I can further extend the flaps, and I can lower the gears. Now I can arm the ground spoilers and auto brake to medium. Now with this, I will activate autopilot 2. Just make sure all the lights are on also. Yes, all the lights are on. And I can further extend the flaps to full. Now you can see the advantage of autopilot 1 and 2, that this plane can perform Autoland, and even during the low visibility you can go for the landing. So that's why I've picked up this scenario, because you can see you can hardly anything is visible. So that's why This minimums will also make sense now. And that at this altitude, you will see whether you can see the runway or not. So now you are 920 feet above the ground, but altitude is 2,500 because, you know, as I told you before, the runway is 1,750 above the sea level. So this is based on the barrow readings. So once you will see 1950 or 200 feet over here. Now for the autopilot, just keep an eye over here on the flight mode enunciator. It will go into different phases. Now the runway is visible. So it's aligned with the runway and it's going to, you know, touch down at the runway. At the right point, I can move this knob and get the ILS visibility as well, whether it's aligned or not. Now it's going for the land, and 30 feet above the ground you will see flare. At this time, I will just bring the thrust levers to idle, and then I will activate reverse thrust as soon as the plane lands. Retard, idle, and now reverse thrust activated. Below 80 knots, I can deactivate the reverse thrust. And then the auto brakes will also come into action, stop the plane. Now you can see the speed is reducing, and once I will apply the brakes, then the auto brakes will also be disconnected. That's how. Now you can just like retract the flaps. They're not required anymore. And the thrust lever is in the idle position. Then you can just like give some power and taxi to the gate. So that's how you auto-land this plane and carry out an ILS approach and landing. So if you've got any questions, you can ask me in the comment section, or if you want to add anything to this video, the comment section is there for you. Thank you very much for watching this video. Have a nice day. Hope to see you soon.